Hello everyone, thank you for the opportunity to be with you this afternoon, and the area that I'm going to be sharing with you in relation to NDM is the application of how I've used NDM to explore decision making in sport. Specifically, I focus on high pressurized team decision making and the process of developing autonomous thinkers and individuals and teams who are agile and adaptive within this. So specifically, I focus around the design and development and operationalization of shared mental models to accelerate team decision making. I appreciate that people are at the start of their journey and are new to NDM. So the theories that have really inspired my work throughout my kind of engagement with this has been recognition prime decision making, situational awareness, the shared mental models and sense making. And by getting to grips with the community and the theories and the people who have been involved in these kind of approaches, I've then developed a decision-making framework which I've used within sport. And in relation to this as well, I've also integrated cognitive task analysis, which specifically has included critical decision method, concept mapping, and think aloud problem solving. As I said, I know some people are at the start of their journey with this, so I just wanted to set the scene with regards to what shared mental models are. And shared mental models is a schematic representations of roles and functions of team members and how they are involved in a task. So it's really exploring the knowledge structures of each team members and how those knowledge structures can then facilitate a collective effort and coordinative actions, and people are able to adapt their behaviours to meet the demands of the task and other team members which they're working with. The focus I wanted to share with you, although I'm involved in lots of sports, was actually netball, and the reason for me actually choosing this is because of the application of it to other sports, which I'll mention in a minute. For those of you that are not sure about netball, if you think about basketball as an analogy, with the ability that you cannot actually travel or run with the ball, and that you actually have players which are limited into different court zones that they can actually go to. So the challenge that faced netball as a sport in relation to decision making is that you've got quite a small court area, and you can see the diagram 3A, which gives you an indication of the court, and it's literally only 15 meters by 30. Within this small zone, you've got 14 people playing all for the same kind of possession, and you're working in a team of 7. The challenge though comes with the person in possession of the ball. They only have 3 seconds to actually make the pass, so the decision has to be made in those few seconds. And also they can't run with the ball, which is one of the extra complications in netball compared to some sports like my own with field hockey and soccer. Whereas if I want to make a decision and the person isn't quite ready, I can actually carry the ball a little longer until they actually get in position for me to make the pass. That's not possible within netball because of this ability not to move with the ball and also the 3-second rule. So the focus for this particular project that I'm sharing with you was a World Cup campaign. So it was done in a real live naturalistic setting of preparation for a World Cup. And within that, there was the focus of focusing specifically on 4 components of play, which were considered to be significant for success, of which one of them was a centre to goal completion. And you can see in the middle diagram, the centre starts right in the middle of the court, with the idea that if you look at the red arrow, you literally have got to get the ball from the centre down to the post and actually score the goal, which sounds very simple. However, given the rule challenges within the sport, on average, this process at an elite level can take just literally 4 seconds to 6 seconds maximum. And during that period of time, there's engagement with 3 to 5 players. So the decision making is really complex within this environment. So the work that I'm sharing with you actually explored the capturing of shared mental models relating to the tactical play for this one component of this sport, which was the centre to goal completion. On the right hand side, you'll actually see, as well as capturing the shared mental model for the tactical aspect of this, the tactical component was split down into phases, and this was done deliberately to understand the content of the shared mental model that the players and the team was actually using, but also to use it within a training context. So the detail of the project, so it was a World Cup preparation tournament, and the focus, as I mentioned, was attacking centre pass. And this was just part of the performance vision, and it integrated a decision-making framework that I designed for sport to accelerate team decision-making. The period of the campaign was 18 months, but the part that I'm going to share today with you was only a 31-day window that I'll be capturing and show you the data that was actually collected in that period to show how I actually developed and worked with shared mental models to accelerate team decision making in this sport. The participants were elite netball players, so they were physiologically at the highest level of conditioning and extremely skilled. So any changes in the data was down to the difference in their decision making and the training in relation to the development of the shared mental models. And briefly, the areas that I'm going to cover with you is the application of CTA approaches to cover the shared mental models. And this was done by CTA, Applied Cognitive Task Analysis, but also the team meetings. And it's on this part that I'm going to focus more with how NDM made a difference into the competitive environment. And these meetings involved engaging with a decision engagement activity with video and the integration of the framework where information is layered to develop the complexity of thought in relation to shared mental models. The cognitive task analysis approach that was actually applied to use the process of combinatorics, where you can actually integrate several methods of CTA together. And within this particular project, critical decision method, concept mapping and think aloud problem solving was actually integrated into the engagement activity, and that was needed to represent the complexity of the decision making that was actually been engaged with. Performance analysis data and behavioural metrics were also kind of collected, but as been said earlier on, that was really to see if there was a change in performance, but the focus was on the detail of the content of the shared mental model and how we could develop these, accelerate them for complexity to improve decision making. So an overarching view, and I know there's a lot of detail on this side, but I know if you go back to playing it later, there'll be time for you to read it. So I'm just literally going to cover it quickly, but focus on the stages 3 and 4. So the first stage within this project was to actually collect the performance vision of the management. This is called the Alpha Vision. And this enabled us to assess what the shared mental model was from an expert's point of view with regards to content. The second stage then started to integrate this vision with the players, and this is really important at an elite level because the players arrive with a lot of experience and knowledge that they've actually gained in other environments, particularly in their professional clubs. So when they come together to compete internationally, there's the need to actually harmonise them within to one tactical philosophy where all the team is playing and perceiving the game in the same way. And the third stage and fourth stage was actually integrating both of these into a training environment where, using video from matches, we were then actually able to look at the content of the shared mental models in relation to the centre attacking pass. And this was done by actually using videos that were edited down into clips, which in total was 90 seconds. So their players would actually view 6 clips for around 15 seconds in duration. And whilst they were actually viewing the clips, there would be periods where they would be paused into different phases that had been identified as indicated on the earlier slide, so the players could capture their knowledge within those different phases building up to that centre pass completion. And this was repeated for 6 clips, and that was done over a period within team meetings within the programme. So the results from the analysis, there was lots of different levels of analysis that was done, including the capturing of the shared mental models of the coaches, which I won't be sharing with you today, but I will be focusing on the information that was collected within layer 2. I won't be able to share all of it, but hopefully I will give you a kind of insight into some of the information that was collected. and also the ability that by using and capturing shared mental models, we were able to make a comparison with players developing similar shared mental models, both across the units that they actually played in, but also collectively across the team, but also with the coaching staff as well, having that alignment of a agreed shared way of playing. There was also the opportunity to look at the detail and the content of those shared mental models, the phases of those specific phases that built up within the shared mental models, and also the changes in the shared mental model over that period of time as they developed in complexity. So the first slide that I'm showing you here is really the big picture strategic overview to actually show that if you actually explored NDM theories of recognition, primary decision making, sense making, and shared mental models within a program integrated with cognitive task analysis, you could see that when we actually look at the performance of did the number of center to goal completions improve, in a 30-day window, there was a significant improvement within this performance. This is really important because the philosophy behind this is that if we're actually improving the number of center to goal completions, we're then actually improving the number of shot generations, and from there, the number of goals that can actually be scored, and hence success within scoring and winning the match. When we look at it at an individual level, and this is where the detail in the qualitative side of cognitive task analysis proved extremely valuable, we were able to unpick some of the aspects of the shared mental model that actually made a difference in relation to what aspects of performance actually ensured successful tactical play on the centre pass, and in what phases particularly did this actually happen. And you'll see there that particularly there was one shared mental model that was designed for a particular team tactic relating to the centre pass completion. And even within 4 days, there was an acceleration in the shared mental model and understanding of the team to collectively execute this on the field. Further analysis, if we go down into a unit level, actually showed the different cognitive demands that were required for the players when they were actually executing the centre pass, and the similarities that there was a generic themes that were connected across all the different units within the team, but also a realization that for different units there was a different cognitive demand placed on them when they were executing and engaging with the attacking centre pass within the match situation. So as an overview, I appreciate that's been a very quick kind of overview and summary of everything. In the middle column, I have put the stages of the debrief that was actually used from debrief right the way down to stage 1. On the left-hand side, links to the theories for people who are new to NDM but would actually like to pick up further detail of the theories behind each of the stage. And on the right-hand side are the performance drivers that actually produce the outcome within the applied environment. I've also included there, because I appreciate that it's been a quick coverage of the detail, 2 key papers that will actually outline in detail the decision-making framework which I developed to actually improve the shared mental models and decision-making within the sport. This incorporates the NDM theories that I mentioned at the start of the presentation, and also the CTA processes. And one of the presentations in relation to the case study is actually there in the 3rd paper, which will actually take you through a step-by-step process as to how that was actually operationalized in the applied setting. Thank you for listening.